You remember it clearly, and they told you it didn't happen. Not once. Enough times that you started to wonder, started to question your own memory, started to wonder if the problem was you. This video is about what that does to a person. Not just what gaslighting is, but what it does to your memory. The 4 stages, the 4 effects, and what it takes to trust what you remember again. Gaslighting is not a single dramatic event. It is a sustained pattern of having your perception contradicted, repeatedly, consistently over time, until the contradiction becomes the default. It is named after a 1944 film in which a husband dims the gas lights in the house and then convinces his wife that she is imagining the change in light. The light is changing. She is not imagining it. That is gaslighting. Not a misunderstanding, not a communication problem, a deliberate or habitual pattern of undermining another person's confidence in what they perceive. Stage 1. The event. Something happens. You experience it. Your memory of it forms. At this point, your memory is at its most accurate. It is the unmediated record of what you witnessed. Stage 2. The reframe. They describe what happened. Their description is different from what you experienced. Not just different, it makes your version seem improbable. That never happened. I never said that. You're imagining things. You're too sensitive. The event is replaced, in the conversation, with a different event, and you are asked to accept the replacement. Stage 3. The repetition. This doesn't happen once. It happens every time. Every time you raise something, describe something, remember something, the reframe arrives. The alternative version, the suggestion that your perception is faulty. After enough repetitions, you stop checking your own memory first. You check theirs. Your memory becomes the draft. Theirs becomes the final version. Stage 4. The installation. At some point, the reframing is no longer happening from outside. You are doing it yourself. Every time something happens, you automatically check, am I imagining this? Is this real? Am I being too sensitive? The gaslighter doesn't have to be in the room anymore. They have installed the doubt, and the doubt does the work from within. Effect 1. You stop trusting your first perception of things. Before you allow yourself to know what you think, you check, is this right? Am I interpreting this correctly? Is this really what I think it is? The delay between experiencing something and allowing yourself to know it grows longer and longer until it becomes a permanent feature of how you move through the world. Effect 2. You become extraordinarily attuned to other people's versions of events. Not because you're gullible, because you were trained to. You have learned through repetition that other people's accounts of events are more reliable than your own, that yours is the version to be checked, corrected, and revised. Effect 3. You lose the ability to get angry. Anger requires confidence in your own perception. If you're constantly second-guessing whether you experienced what you experienced, the anger never gets solid ground to stand on. It starts to form, and then the installed doubt overrides it. Maybe I'm misreading this. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it wasn't that bad. The anger is legitimate, but it can never quite become real because the event it's responding to keeps being rendered uncertain. Effect 4. You begin to narrate your own experiences in their voice. I overreacted. I was too sensitive. It wasn't that bad. Those are not your words. They are the words that were handed to you repeatedly to describe what you went through, and at some point, you stopped questioning them and started using them. His words, in your mouth, about your own experience. This is the furthest stage of installed gaslighting. You are describing your own pain in the language of the person who caused it. Practice 1. Write it down before they describe it. Your first perception, before the conversation, before the reframe, is the one most likely to be accurate. Write the date, write what happened, write how your body felt. Not to show anyone, not to build a case, to give your memory a place to exist that cannot be reframed, denied, or argued away. Written, dated, yours. Practice 2. Notice when you pre-edit your own experience. Before you speak, pause and ask, what do I actually think happened? Not the version I'm about to offer. What do I actually think? The gap between what you experienced and what you're about to describe is where the installed editing lives. Noticing it is the first step to interrupting it. Practice 3. Trust the entries you wrote when things were clear. If your current doubt contradicts what you wrote when you were closer to the event, the doubt is worth examining. The doubt that arrives weeks or months later, softened by distance and the pull to reconnect, that is not your clearest perception. What you wrote immediately after is. Practice 4. Work with a trauma-informed therapist. The rewiring that gaslighting creates is often deeper than conscious awareness can reach alone. EMDR, somatic therapy, and narrative approaches can help rebuild the confidence in your own perception that was systematically dismantled. This is not something you have to do alone. You were not imagining it. What you remember happened. Your perception, the one you had before the reframing, before the repetition, before the doubt became automatic, was not a flaw. It was the most accurate thing in the room. The problem was not your perception. The problem was what was done to your perception. And knowing the difference between those two things is how you begin to trust yourself again. In the next video, we're going to talk about he's perfect in public, why nobody believes you, what the public mask is protecting, and how to stop needing them to believe you. Subscribe. I'll see you there.